Children, let us understand the poem John Brown, written by an American singer and songwriter Bob Dylan. He has written this poem in 1962 after the First World War, and he has depicted a soldier's picture in this poem, and it is in the form of ballad. Ballad means narrating a story in short stanzas. Here, the songwriter has written it in 12 stanzas, and he has written it in simple and easily comprehensible language, and it is an anti-war song. That means against war, describing war is mere waste and it is nothing but destruction. It brings destruction, only destruction. So here the songwriter has chosen John Brown as his titular hero for this song, and it goes in the form of dialogues between John Brown and his mother, and completely he highlights the fatality of war in the whole poem or in all 12 stanzas. So the poem begins with the titular hero named John Brown. Let's go into the poem. It's in your book, page number 18, sixth poem, John Brown by Bob Dylan. John Brown went off to war to fight on a foreign shore. His mama sure was proud of him. He stood straight and tall in his uniform, and all his mama's face broke out all in grin. Here in the first stanza of this song, poet picturizes the joy of a mother, and a mother full of pride about her son. And John Brown was ready to go for a war in the foreign shore, and he was standing along with other soldiers. Her mother was so happy to see a handsome, good looking, straight and tall son in uniform, soldier's uniform. She was so proud of him. So she is so happy. So the songwriter says, John Brown went off to war to fight on a foreign shore. He went for a war which took place in the other nation. He was a soldier of his nation and fighting for his nation in other nation. His mother was so proud of him. And why she was so proud of him? Because he was so straight and tall, looking good in his uniform. And when his mother saw him in that uniform, her face was full of smile. Grin means wide smile, showing all the teeth, and she was so happy and she was smiling. And in the second stanza, she is still full of pride and joy in seeing her son serving the nation as a soldier, standing among the other soldiers. So she is keep describing and expressing her joy and pride about her son. Oh, son, you look so fine. I'm glad you are a son of mine. You make me proud to know you hold a gun. Do what the captain says. Lots of medals you will get, and we will put them on the wall when you come home. So, here in the second stanza also, he was full of pride and joy and telling her son and expressing her joy in such a word that you are looking so fine. My son, I'm so glad to see my son looking so tall and straight in his uniform. And she was so proud about his look, and she was so glad to say that he is my son. And she is telling that you make me proud to know you hold a gun. That means she was so proud that her son is a soldier holding a gun. That means her son is going to fight for their nation. That was making her to feel proud. That means her son is ready to serve for the nation. So that makes her mother so happy, and she is full of pride. And she is advising her son what to do, how to excel in your work. Do what the captain says. Lots of medals you will get. If you do what the captains instruct you, you will get lot of medal. That means you will achieve good things. When you do and when you obey the instruction of the captains, you will success. You will do great things in the war, and your achievements will be accepted by the officers, and they will give you lot of medals. When you come home, you will bring all the medals, and we will decorate it. We will put them on the wall when you come home. We will decorate it in our house. So it is natural. So as a natural expression, we can see that what a pride mother is holding in her heart about her son. She was full of pride, and she was proud about his act. As a soldier, he has chosen to serve for the nation. So she was so happy. So the first stanza, second stanza, and the third stanza also expresses how John Brown's mother was filled with joy and pride. The third stanza, it's a narrating, the songwriter is narrating an incident or a short story, begins with John Brown's journey as a soldier. And in the third stanza, as that old train pulled out, John's ma began to shout, telling everyone in the neighborhood, "That's my son, that's about to go. He's a soldier now." You know, she made well sure her neighbors understood. So, here again, after sending her son to the battlefield in the foreign show, and all the soldiers are traveling by a train, and that old train pulled out. So the train started, and she started shouting and expressing her joy still. The people who were standing nearby, the neighborhood, and everyone, she is telling that, "My son, that's about to go. He is a soldier now. He is standing in the line with the people who are going for the war, and he is gone with those people, and he is my son. He is a soldier now. And she was explaining each and everyone around her about her son, that who is he and where he has gone, what he is now. So everything she said. From this stanza also we can understand the mother's sense of pride and joy in seeing her son serving the nation. So she is keep telling and thinking about her son and making others to also understand that her son is such a person. And in the fourth stanza, she got a letter once in a while, and her face broke into a smile as she showed them to the people from next door, and she bragged about her son with his uniform and gun. And these things you call a good old-fashioned war. Good old-fashioned war. Here, in this stanza, still she is continuing and about the songwriter is describing about mother's feeling. Once in a while, she got a letter from her son, now and then, not regular, but regularly she was receiving the letter now and then, and her face broke into smile. Whenever she received the letter, she was full of joy. Again, her face broke, the same line which is used in the last line of the first stanza. Face broke into smile as she showed them to the people from next door. She could not keep it with her. Whenever she received the letter from her son from the battlefield or the place where he was fighting for the nation, and she carried the letter to the neighbors also and showed it to them, how her son is shining, how her son is doing the good thing for the nation. So from the door to door, she used to go and describe about the heroic act of her son. And much pride, bragged. So with full of pride, she used to bragged about her son with his uniform and gun. That means as a soldier. And these things you call a good old-fashioned war. Here the poet says that he is making the reader to understand that it is just in a what ironic way he's saying that it's called a good old-fashioned war. Oh, good old-fashioned war. So here the poet is mocking. So this is called a old-fashioned war. That means like mocking tone. Here he is mocking the idea of war. The songwriter doesn't like the war. So he is mocking in that tone. Then the letters ceased to come. For a long time they did not come. They ceased to come for about 10 months or more. Then a letter finally came saying, "Go down and meet the train. Your sons are coming home from the war." So the mother was keep waiting for the letter from her son. And it stopped. Ceased means stopped coming. Once it used to come now and then, that means once in a while. Now, after 10 months continuously, even 10 months, for a year also, she did not receive any letter. And it ceased to come for 10 months or more. That means in a year, once in a year also. So the days pass, the days pass. Later, after a long time, then a letter finally came. She received a letter after a long time, nearly after a year. What is written in the letter? Go down and meet the train. That means you go to the railway station to meet the train, to receive your son who is coming by train. Your son is coming home from the war. So your son is coming to your place or your home after fighting in the war. So you are expected to go to the station to receive your son who is traveling by train. She smiled and went right down. She looked everywhere around, but she could not see her soldier's son in sight. But as all the people passed, she saw her son at last. When she did, she could hardly believe her eyes. So at last the day came. She also went to the station from where her son started his journey for the war. There she went, and with full of smile, right down there to the place where her son is going to get down from the train. And the day came. The train reached the station. She was standing as a mother with full of joy and pride, in the same mood to receive her son. She is imagining, as she was telling her son, that you obey the instruction of the captain, and when you come back you will come with full of medals. So she will be imagining and dreaming, and in the same tall look and straight and tall and handsome in uniform, the son will come. So she is standing there, and the train reached. Everyone is getting down, and she was looked everywhere around for her son, but she could not see her soldier's son in sight. She had the picture of the same soldier's son who carried this gun in uniform, in soldier's uniform, with straight, tall look. But as all the people passed, everyone is getting down and moving and passing, she saw her son. At last, she could not recognize her son. She could not find her son as he was. When she did, she could hardly believe her eyes. Because of what? Because her son, the soldier's son, was not as tall and straight soldier's son. What happened? Here, let's see the next part of the song in the next class. So at last the mother could find her son in the station. And what happened to her son? Let's see in the next class.